In this video, we're going to talk about upgrading some tooling for the race car side hustle. But we're not just upgrading one tool. We're going to be talking about upgrading two tools. One of the race car side hustles that I have is doing fabrication work, fabrication and design work. Well, for HSF, Houston Speed Freaks, that's strut tower braces. And as you can see by the rack, if you're definitely in the Ford Explorer community, those parts are looking a little familiar, aren't they? Don't mind the rack holding the material. That's just kind of a crude rack that was quickly made, and it works pretty good to hold them. Enough material to make 30 strut tower braces that, I will say, will probably get immediately sold out as soon as we list them on the website. However, making these things, it definitely took some time. But with a little bit of tool upgrades, we're going to become a little bit more efficient at some fabrication. And what you're looking at right now, I mean, you know them, you love them or you hate them, but Harbor Freight. So this is the ultra quiet 26-gallon air compressor. This thing is great. It's got a 26-gallon, which is plenty of supply. It'll work up to 170 PSI. My working pressure is about like 120 PSI for this this now pneumatic press. So this is a Harbor Freight press. I was manually cranking that bottle jack to dimple these plates, which took hours, mind you. But Harbor Freight sells a pneumatic version of the same bottle jack that will fit inside the press. Now, all that's needed is you to buy this $150 bottle jack, right, from Harbor Freight. If you got a coupon, might be less. If you're one of their fast track or race or whatever their membership program's called, you might be able to get a discount on these things. So it could be possibly cheaper. All you need to do is slide this thing into the position that the original jack would have gone into, and you'll mark and you can drill 2 holes. I drilled 1 hole here. I kind of missed the mark on the back one, but it's kind of in there so that it won't go nowhere. It's solid. So it was $150, and I converted my manual press to be pneumatic powered. Now, along with the air compressor, I did buy a nice little air-water separator so that we can kind of keep corrosion to a minimum on all the air tools. I also have plenty of hose. I've got more hose over there and things like that. But this was, I guess you could say, kind of a proof of concept, and definitely widened my imagination as to other things I could expand and possibly change from being manually powered to being pneumatically powered. Namely, my pipe bender. So making the pipe bender pneumatically powered definitely is going to require a whole lot more fabrication work, imagination, and a little bit more effort to get this done. So the JD Squared bender, great bender. This is the handle where you can extend it out. It's got a ratcheting system with the teeth and all the good stuff if you were to do it manually. But if we were to make it pneumatically powered with, say, another pneumatically powered cylinder, we could probably get, 1 pipe bent in 1 stroke, and also I can put my shoulder and back at rest, because when we make, say, 30 strut tower braces, that's 2 bars per strut brace, and that's 4 bends per strut bar. So, you could do the math. I'm doing 120 bends, which usually takes me about a day or two, plus whatever time it took me to dimple all that. But now, because I gained such a huge efficiency at making the press pneumatically powered, that it takes less than a minute to dimple all 6 holes. It used to take like like 5 minutes per plate because you had to manually crank that bottle jack down there. But now, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So if it works so well for the press, why wouldn't it work so well for the pipe bender? So looking around the garage, there's the fab table with casters, there's a workbench with casters, the toolbox with casters, the stainless steel big top table, casters, engine hoist, casters, that Gen 2 Coyote that's sitting inside of a engine cradle also has casters. The rack that holds all the materials has casters. So, you know, you can move around, you can make space, use out of space in the garage. But if this is manual, it has to be bolted to the floor so that you can have the leverage to just really pull that handle and bend pipe or tubing to whatever you need it to be. But say it was pneumatic powered and it was bolted to a frame, well then it would be the pneumatic cylinder pushing against the frame. And if the bender is mounted to that same frame, well, I don't think it needs that leverage of being bolted to the ground. So I plan to build, I got some material. There's a bunch of 2x2 square tubing from my local metal supply. And we have, you know, a handful of rejected strut tower brace materials that will also come in handy for making a nice, decent frame to hold the bender, which is basically the top part. The gray pole, that's just the stand for it, but I intend to build an entire frame that's going to have casters to it. That way I can roll it and park it in the corner. And then I can kind of regain this little space right here in the garage, which is about a 3-foot radius of kind of useless space. I would say I did strategically put it there so that I have plenty of space to park the car or lift it up on jacks, take it apart, disassemble it, and this wouldn't be too in the way. But what would be even better is if I can take the pipe bender and just go park it in the corner. You know, that would be so much better, right? Now, it's not going to be as easy as just cut up some tubing and make a frame. We're also going to use, you know, our smarts and a computer to aid us in drawing a lug that kind of matches this lug right here so that we can bolt it to that frame. And then as well as getting, you know, working down on the precision of this bender. Now, the bender is pretty good. It is quite precise whenever you are bending. It's spot on. However, what kills that precision or lessens the accuracy of the bending is if you assembled your bender and you have slop between the arms, like if you see how you kind of pick that up and there's a little bit of slop, so you see how there's a little bit of slop there. Well, that's going to be one of the things that is going to get addressed when we go build this frame. So I'm going to build the frame, and when the frame gets built and we have the cylinder mounted, we're going to go through all of that hardware that hinges the bender and actuating for the bend and whatnot. We're going to go through and we're going to shim everything so that it's all nice and tight, and that way there's not so much play, because if there's play, that could possibly knock off the bend angle. And we don't want to do that, because even if you go off a couple tenths of a degree, that could really change the direction of that bend, and it could end up just ruining the piece that you're trying to fabricate in the direction you want, like roll cage, like frames, you know. strut tower braces. Now, something I am going to change about how the bender is going to be mounted. So obviously from JD Square, they give you this really nice stand, but it's mounting it horizontally. When we go build the frame, I think it's going to make this bender even more compact if we turn it 90 degrees, and it's going to start bending vertically. I also feel like that, you know, for the purpose that I use this bender, especially for these strut tower braces, it's going to increase the accuracy. That way I'm not fighting gravity all the time with it, you know, it wanting to pull the part down because it's horizontal. Now, of course, if I do bend something else and it's got complicated bends, you know, where it goes 90 this way, then that way, then around, or all the other different directions, yes, of course, gravity will still be my enemy. But for the main function that I am producing parts, making it vertical will do a whole lot of good. But making it pneumatic with this guy is gonna increase that efficiency, and hopefully we get the same, you know, gain in efficiency like we did with the press. And don't you worry, we're not gonna just talk about what we're gonna do and then I'll tell you how I finish this finished product. Kind of like what I just did with the pneumatic press. However, that is far simpler. It was quite uneventful. It was just me drilling 2 holes and, you know, tossing it up in the mount location. So for the bender, I'm probably going to do an absolute full video, full detail. You'll get to see the pretty and the ugly as far as fabrication. You'll be able to make fun of my welds. You'll be able to see the CAD drawing that I do to help make bracketry or mount points for the cylinder, for the bender, and all that fun stuff, okay? Because I'm going to make sure I include it so that you guys, in the event that you want to make your JD Square, I don't know how many people have these things, because they are quite a pretty pity, but boy, is it worth every bit. Or maybe you're looking to buy this stuff and you want some insight from someone who already has one, uses it, and converts it to being pneumatic powered. You know, so there's a whole lot that's going to be gained for you guys, and maybe we got some, you know, sleazy tool sluts out there who really get their you know, get off on seeing this kind of stuff. So if you're ready to see some fabrication, some tools becoming better tools, stay tuned, because we're about to pretty much do all of that. Yeah. So hit the like down below. Go ahead and comment if you foresee trouble, or if you might know of a better way to getting this accomplished, because we're definitely doing this, okay? That's all I gotta say. Or just write down in the comments, this is awesome, because yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And like always, if you're new here, why don't you think of subscribing, and I will see you guys later.